On February 2nd, 1980, the public learned a single word that would shake Washington: ABSCAM, forever remembered. Behind locked doors, the story wasn't rumors. There were tapes, timestamps, and voices negotiating corruption like it was routine, on tape. ABSCAM wasn't just surveillance. It was set design, creating a reality believable enough for criminals to step into willingly, by design. The trap depended on details. One wrong prop, one cheap lie, and the entire operation could burn in seconds, instantly fatal. They sold a legend, a rich Arab sheikh ready to invest, money with no questions, if favors came with it, no strings. In that room, cash wasn't just money. It was a test. Who flinches? Who smiles? Who starts negotiating? Right there. Every angle mattered. Cameras hid in plain sight. Quiet witnesses waiting for the moment someone crossed the line. Unseen always. Undercover work is performance under pressure. One wrong tone, one nervous glance, and the illusion collapses, instantly exposed. One phone call can change everything. In ABSCAM, the invitation wasn't a threat. It was an opportunity. And that was the bait, every time. They don't walk in like villains. They walk in like professionals, because they believe this is just business, in suits. First comes comfort. A drink, a joke, a handshake, because corruption often begins as something that feels normal. To them, the moment isn't loud. It's quiet. An envelope moving inches, and a decision moving miles. Inwards, too. You can feel it. The second the conversation stops being friendly and becomes transactional, the room changes without anyone raising their voice at all. Nobody says bribe out loud. They speak in codes, help, access, arrangements, and everyone pretends it's clean, on paper. From the inside, it feels private. From the lens, it's permanent. Every pause, every nod, every inch of the deal, forever logged. In operations like this, truth is built from tiny things. One fake detail out of place, and the target walks out forever. No refunds. At first, it's vague. Then it sharpens. Money on the table, and a favor that can't be written down ever again. The real commodity isn't cash. It's access. Who gets a meeting? Who gets a permit? Who gets the law to look away for sale? In court, it's not only words. Sometimes a nod is a signature, and a quiet movement becomes the loudest proof in court. In the suite, it's a private deal. In the bureau, it's a controlled experiment. Two realities running at once, in parallel. The hardest part wasn't the disguise. It was the boundary. Catch corruption without becoming the thing you're trying to expose, without crossing. In an undercover case, the truth must survive court. Every tape had to be handled like it could be attacked, because it would be, under oath. When ABSCAM went public, it didn't just hit officials. It hit trust, like a crack spreading across glass, nationwide too. And then the argument exploded. Was this justice or provocation? In ABSCAM, even the method became part of the story, on trial. Suddenly, corruption wasn't a rumor. It was something you could watch. And once people saw it, they couldn't unsee it, ever again. Defense teams didn't argue the money first. They argued the method. They lured him. They pushed him. This was entrapment, they claimed. The real test is simple. Who brings up the illegal favor first? Because that first step belongs to someone, not chance. Undercover isn't lying loudly. It's staying believable, while your body screams that one mistake could end everything, any night. Money isn't abstract in that moment. It has weight, texture, smell, designed to make the illegal feel immediate, in hands. No contracts, no signatures, just a promise made in the air, because writing it down would make it real in the wrong way, later too. Undercover operations are fragile ecosystems. If the wrong person recognizes the wrong face, every cover story crashes at once, like dominoes. Every meeting starts with a silent ritual. Check the wire, check the exits, check your face, then walk back in like nothing's wrong, each time. The word investment made it respectable. It turned a crime into a deal, and that's how the hook sank in so smoothly. Good stings don't rush. They test the temperature, listening for greed, fear, or ego, and choosing the right door in, quietly chosen. Greed doesn't like uncertainty. It wants reassurance, proof the money is real and the consequences are imaginary, in theory. Every undercover meeting has two scripts, the one the target hears and the escape plan running silently underneath, always running. The suite wasn't just a set, it was a trigger board, objects arranged to invite one thing, the offer, on cue. At some point, the favor stops being a hint. It becomes specific. Names, meetings, outcomes, the shape of a crime taking shape. Somewhere in the room, a light is telling the truth. The target doesn't see it because they're focused on the money, not truth. The most dangerous sound isn't a confession. It's a comfortable laugh because it means the person has already decided right then. He thinks he's controlling the conversation, setting the price, setting the terms. That illusion is exactly what makes the trap work, like clockwork. On the other side of the wall, nobody cheers. They stay silent because one wrong move could blow the cover and the case in seconds. The dance is push and pull. The agent offers just enough. The target reveals just enough. And the tape catches the truth, all captured. Everything here is thin ice, legally, ethically, operationally. One crack and the whole operation sinks, together fast. The moment the envelope disappears, it's no longer a conversation. It's evidence, sealed inside a choice, on record. This is the paradox. The room feels comforting, and that comfort is engineered, so a person relaxes enough to reveal who they are, in full. In undercover work, signals are silent. A small gesture can mean, keep recording, stay calm. We've got it, right now. After the meeting, the room becomes a timeline. They rewind and replay, turning seconds into something a jury can't ignore. For jurors, once ABSCAM broke, the story moved faster than the Bureau could control. Names turned into headlines, overnight, across screens. Some called it accountability, others called it a setup. ABSCAM didn't just expose corruption, it exposed how divided trust can be that day. In court, the glamour disappears. What's left is gravity, tapes, testimony, and the question of where the line really was for everyone. Entrapment became the weapon in the counterattack, because if the method looks dirty, even the truth starts to feel negotiable. At last, the legal question turns on one idea. Were they already willing, or did the offer create the crime that followed, in hindsight? The Bureau walked a tightrope. Push too hard, and it looks like provocation. Push too little, and corruption slips away every day. ABSCAM wasn't fought only in court. It was fought in public, where perception can bruise an institution as much as any verdict, for years. Believability isn't free. It takes planning, money, and discipline because criminals notice the smallest crack in the story instantly noticed. One tiny mistake can end an operation. A cheap detail whispers, "This isn't real," and suspicion spreads fast, like fire. The moment suspicion arrives, everything becomes evidence. Every object, every pause, every glance that lasts a second too long, by nature. A good undercover pivot is invisible. You don't deny suspicion, you dissolve it with normality, like it never existed, at all. And through it all, the tape keeps rolling. Patient, mechanical, unstoppable, capturing what people say when they think nobody's listening. In private, money talks in a whisper. Power leans in to hear it, because it sounds like an easy shortcut to yes all day. Undercover agents don't improvise everything. They carry a script, phrases designed to invite a confession without pushing too far, by law. And the target has a script too, deniability. They talk around the crime, building a story they hope will protect them later, if needed. There are no second takes. If the moment happens and the gear fails, the truth vanishes, and the target learns nothing was real at once. The room is designed to feel safe, private, expensive, untouchable. That comfort is what convinces people to risk everything, for cash. When someone feels untouchable, they get careless. Confidence isn't armor. It's the moment people stop protecting themselves, in time. Catching corruption takes patience. You wait through boring minutes, for the single sentence that changes everything. Suddenly, clear. And then it comes. The sentence that can't be explained away. Not a joke, not a rumor, a deal, spoken out loud, on tape. They pause the tape and stare. A single frame can hold a whole case. One gesture, one exchange, one irreversible moment, forever frozen. The public sees the sting. They don't see the engineering, weeks of planning to make one lie feel like the truth for months. Even if the crime is real, the question lingers. How far should law enforcement go to prove it in secret? ABSCAM stopped being just a case. It became a symbol of corruption, of enforcement, and of the uneasy space between them, in between. A sting can't force a choice. The trap only works when the person steps in and decides the risk is worth it, right now. Soon the conversation becomes math. Not policy, not service, just the price of influence, measured in quiet numbers, in whispers. If the cover breaks, the door doesn't open twice. One wrong second, and the target disappears, forever suspicious, from then. ABSCAM revealed something simple and brutal. Corruption doesn't always hide. Sometimes it just waits for the right room, for anyone. After the sting, there's no triumph, just aftermath. Long nights, turning messy reality into something the law can hold. For court. When corruption is exposed, trust doesn't instantly heal. It becomes fragile, like glass after the first crack, for long. ABSCAM became a template. Build a believable world, document every step, and let the target reveal themselves on camera, at scale. The uncomfortable lesson is this. When you manufacture reality, you can catch criminals, but you also create questions that never fully go away, for good. In ABSCAM, the camera wasn't just equipment, it was a witness, silent, patient, and impossible to argue with later, in evidence. That briefcase held a whole world. Temptation, leverage, and the illusion that consequences could be bought off in dreams. ABSCAM was reality engineering, not fantasy, just enough truth, arranged carefully to let a hidden truth surface in daylight. Even decades later, ABSCAM leaves a question hanging. When does exposing corruption become creating it? Forever debated. On February 2nd, 1980, the mask slipped in public. What was secret theater became national reality, seen by everyone at once, nationwide too. When the meeting ends, the illusion has to shut down fast. The wire comes off, but the consequences stay on, for years. People can deny later, memory can blur, but a tape doesn't forget, so it becomes the heaviest witness in the room, forever there. That's the strange power of a sting. A fake world can expose real crime, yet it's always one small detail away from collapsing, at any time. ABSCAM proved a harsh truth. Build a convincing set, and crime will walk in, thinking it's the one in control, every time. And the final question still echoes. When you create a reality to catch corruption, how do you make sure it doesn't create the crime itself at all?